If someone was to ask you how you were doing spiritually, what is it that you would think of? Maybe things such as how often you've thought about God this week. Maybe it's the length of your prayers. What about the last time that you read the Bible? When we are thinking of our spirituality, we often associate it with things that might feel like they're a little out there. But if we do that, we're only half answering the question. If we want to be living the abundant life spoken about by Jesus, we cannot limit spiritual to church. It includes our emotional, social, mental, and physical well-being. Today we're going to focus on that last point, our physical selves. Jesus said that people shall not live by bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. Matthew 4 verse 4. Did you notice that doesn't say people will live without bread as long as they have the words of God? It doesn't say that at all. It cannot be understated that we need more than bread to thrive. Yes, we need God, but we also need sustenance for our bodies. Jesus himself came as a human who needed to eat. In fact, there are a couple places where Jesus looks after his body rather than doing what was considered the holy or spiritual thing to do. For example, in Matthew 12 verse 1 we read, "At that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. He and his disciples were hungry and began to pick some heads of grain and eat them. When Pharisees saw this, they said to him, 'Look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath.'" The Pharisees were religious leaders. They were sticking to what they knew. God had said that there must be no work on the Sabbath, and harvesting food from a field was considered work. Jesus was not obeying the law, God's law, at all. When they challenged him, he replies by saying, "I tell you that something greater than the temple is here. If you had known what these words mean, 'I desire mercy, not sacrifice,' you would not have condemned the innocent, for the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." He then pushes his reply even further as he goes from there and then heals the hand of a crippled man, something that again was not allowed on the Sabbath. In both these examples and others, Jesus doesn't say that the physical is unimportant. It's only the spiritual that matters. No, he says, "You're physically hungry. We must feed you. You're physically not well. We must heal you." In these responses of Jesus and all the others, we see that drinking the living water encompasses every area of our life, spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, and every other way. Our bodies are literally filled with living water. 60% of our body is water. Our brain and heart are 73% water, while our lungs are 83% water. We cannot neglect that. So if I ask you now to think about how you are doing spiritually, I hope that you will check in with your body too. Are you drinking enough water? Not just juice, coffee or tea, but water. Are you getting exercise? Are you making sure that you get the sleep that you need? We haven't gone into detail with the others this morning, but you can also ask yourself if you're investing in your friendships, connecting with your family members, applying yourself to your studies, taking time to process your emotions as you consider every part of your being. That is all spiritual. I'm going to end off today with 1 Corinthians 3 verses 16 to 17, which says, "Don't you know that you yourselves are God's temple, and that God's Spirit dwells in your midst? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy that person, for God's temple is sacred, and you together are the temple." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.